YouTube, Daniel here from the home of Random Productions 2.0 with a computer video. It's kind of going to be different in terms of how I normally would do computer videos lately, as I did a lot of more of the quiet ASMR relaxing type. Never really got into the context and detail of the computer. What makes this one so different is a friend of mine a while back gave me a computer from 1994. Now this computer was originally going to be the sleeper computer before you guys got to see my Ambra sleeper computer, which is a third party to IBM, International Business Machine. The machine that I'm going to show you guys today is a 486. That's computer language from the 90s, and I unfortunately didn't grow up in that period. I was only 4 when this computer came out, so it's pretty young. I was familiar a little bit with the operating system that is in it. Vague, that being said. So, I welcome you guys to see an IBM Aptiva. Yeah, it's from 1994. Weighs more than it probably needs to. And this was going to be the original sleeper computer. It's going to be getting shipped to a friend that I met on a vintage Facebook group that you can sell and trade computer parts. He wants to build a sleeper in it, and since that was my original goal with this case, I pulled out because it's going to be a lot of work. From a video I watched, you'd have to convert this whole back chassis here with a new metal plate with sheet metal to make the I/O shield and the fan port, and it's a lot of work, and I'm not really good with that kind of stuff. So I think for today what I'm going to do is give you guys a tour of inside the case, show you the Windows operating system start. It does start. It's been a while since I've tested it, and I'll pull all the parts out, clean them, should my friend that I met through that group still decide to take the computer, as we're still trying to figure out the shipping logistics from Canada, Toronto to Wisconsin where he lives. So still trying to figure that out. But if he doesn't want the case anymore, I will definitely be putting back the technology in it and reposting it for anyone that's interested. I do know the IBM Aptiva, specifically this model, does come with a good high bracket in terms of price for people wanting it because it is a bit rare. But I would love to see this being a sleeper computer. I know the technology is old school, and for people that love it, I can respect that, but also I'm more of a modern nerd, and it would be nice to see that technology in here. So without ado, I'm gonna just give you guys a quick point of view tour of everything. I'm gonna pop the case off. This whole case just pretty much, I already removed the screws which were up here to kind of speed the process. Normally a case this age probably wouldn't be that easy, but I had to take it apart to be able to make things a little easy. So that way I'm not struggling to pop it off. That's what the front looks like. I'm trying to get that centered here. Even just this part's a little heavy. Move that out of the way. Here, I'm gonna just dismount the GoPro quickly so you guys can check it out. So for starters, we have the back here. That's the power supply original. Here is your keyboard, mouse, stereo ports, printer, parallel port, video port. That is a 56K modem. For those of you who know that lingo, that is what your internet was back in the day. It ran off of a phone line, and it was really slow. That is your sound card, controller port, line in, line out, mic, and that's another dial up. So I'm guessing one of these were a fax, and one of these were your 56K modem. Nothing here on the side, just a bit of a venting port and stuff. As for the front, you got floppy drive, non-momentary switch is an actual switch, optical drive. A quick zoom in here of the Aptiva 510 model 216862P. There is a bit of rust, so my friend that's going to be accepting this case has a bit of work to do in terms of cleaning it up. Here's a fan port if you wanted to put a fan. It is pretty dirty, a little bit of damage there. Nothing too big. Well, for a case this age, given the weight and the age of it, this thing weighs more than it needs to. Well, here's a quick view of inside. Try to get some light in here for you. So we have on the bottom here more dust than you probably need in terms of dust. That's all dust. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned since like the beginning of time. Like, that's just insane. IA slots. This is your dial-up, fax card, whatever, sound card. This cable actually here would connect to the CD-ROM drive. So if you played a CD, like a music CD back in the day, it'll allow for you to do that. And if I'm correct, this was a way to communicate the mic, so that way you can talk via microphone over the phone type thing, because there was phone softwares that you could use back in the day. This is that. So I'm assuming that was probably for like that B drive or something. Even the power supply itself is dirty. Here's a view of the back of the CD-ROM drive. And here is the old school mechanical drive. It's about 528 megabytes, which is small if you think about it in today's terms. And then some rust here. This is like rust right there as well. It's like dirty. Some copper. So one thing that makes this case difficult is that it's a proprietary build, and it's pretty much the parts were not interchangeable in terms of the structure here, which, as you can see, it was the whole case versus a slot of the case. It did have the 5-pin connector if you had gone that route. Much like any other manufacturer, this had probably many types for different motherboards and different connection ports, because there is a and B pin out on the front, so you'll see different pin ports for that. Screw ports, I mean. This is the power supply specs. Yeah, it's old school. That's all I can really tell you about it, and just the front again for your viewing pleasures. So all I think I could do now is maybe allow for turning it on. I have the monitor there. I'm gonna use a PS2 and more modernized keyboard and mouse to turn it on. This is laser mouse, but it is USB, but low voltage, low amperage, and then a PS2 keyboard, and then I have like the PS2 USB adapter for the mouse, as you can see there. So I'm gonna pause the video here, and I'm going to swap over to switching this to view the screen.